We're here in Galicia, Pontevedra, in the north of Spain, with the lovely Catalina, founder of Hifas. And today we're going to speak about our adaptogenic coffee blends, which now exclusively incorporate Hifas high-quality extracts.
Hey Catalina, tell us about your personal journey starting Hifas.
Well, my personal journey started, it really was my whole life, because I've been my whole life embedded in mushrooms, mycology, and because of my family. My father is a researcher, my mother is from New York, and my father is from Galicia, so I am a mix, a hybrid between the States and Spain and Europe. So that brings the internationality into the company. And the mushrooms is because from this science background, I grew up knowing the mushrooms, having the mushrooms into my life since I was very little, since I was born. So when I grew up and I thought about doing a project in university. Well, what came up was to do what I knew that I could bring to society, which were the knowledge and the properties of the mushrooms.
Nice. And you were picking mushrooms, on the land here
Yes.
since you were young.
Yes. These premises are where Hifas is located. It's a place that my parents bought when they got married. So I grew up here on the weekends and the summers, and my father would teach us to get the mushrooms, to differentiate mushroom gathering and fostering. And what we would do is to really observe the relations between the plants, the trees, and the mushrooms, and how the ecosystems evolved. As I grew, I could see the mushrooms changing in the grounds, the ecosystems. So they've been in my life forever. So tell me about your story.
Sure. So Shez and I met in school years ago. And about 7 years ago, we were staying together for a little bit, and we were having natural ingredients with coffee as a natural pre-workout before the gym to stay healthy and to avoid chemical-laced drinks. And a lot of people were like, you should make this into a business. And we were really excited by it. So we had a passion for it. And we met a nutritionist who introduced us to functional mushrooms and other adaptogens and taught us about the synergies with adaptogens and coffee and how they go really well together. And one thing led to another. And we found ourselves in this journey of trying to find the highest quality extracts that we physically could from around the world. So I think at one point we had 20 different lion's mane extracts, and we were looking at the COAs and saying like which one has the highest active compounds. So we essentially made it for ourselves, and then it was all about launching the business, doing everything ourselves. Shez, how did we launch the business?
So we as Zane said, we went on this journey for about 2 years trying to find the highest quality extracts. Then it was like, right, we've got something, we've got our formulas, let's make this happen, right? We were quite small at that point, so we hadn't even started. So what we were trying to do was find a way to produce into sachets. Now, we went for the sachet route because they were super convenient and super easy for people to take on the go with them, with every sachet being specifically measured with a specific dosage and enough of the active compounds. So we found someone that could blend our formula for us, but the next step was putting them into sachets. And no one would work with us because we were so small. So we did it by hand. And in the summer of 2020, we hand filled and sealed 30,000 sachets.
Wow.
Yeah, which was pretty fun. Individually putting a best before date on every single sachet and then filling them. And from there, we've had amazing feedback from our customers. And I think it was late in the summer 2020, we actually went out of stock because we had some organic PR on radio. And we were like, oh my God, what do we do? We're out of stock. We can't keep filling sachets by hand. And then from there, we managed to find a more scalable production.
How did you find out about Hifas? How did you get to test our mushrooms?
So we actually, where did we go? So the first time that I personally found out about Hifas is we were at a practitioner conference, and Sophie, it was her first week on our team. So she runs our customer care, and she was helping us out at the conference, and she's like, there's a really cool looking mushroom company over there. And because of all our testing, we were like way down the rabbit hole. We were like, listen, we want to find the best of the best of the best. So I popped over and I saw that you guys had like all this documentation on clinical trials, and I'm like, this is amazing. I haven't seen anything like this. And then I think it was Christina on your team who was there, and I had a little chat, and I said, hey, we've got some mushroom coffees, you guys should come and try some. And then she came and walked past our table, and she was looking with her side eye, and we're like, come over. And I think then Henry as well on your team tried our adaptogenic coffees, and I think that's where we first came across each other, and then we started seeing each other at like similar conferences, saying hello, and like one thing led to another, and now we're in Pontevedra. See.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember clearly actually the first time Hifas was on my radar. So I wasn't actually at the show that day with Zayn and Sophie, but I remember Zayn calling me really excited. He's like, Shez just met a coolest mushroom company. It's similar to what he said. They've got all the documents showing all the research. And that's obviously when you guys came up on our radar. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I have to say that for us, we had been, because obviously there's a lot of coffees around. There's been many, many coffees for maybe 15 years already. And I had seen them and tried them, but it never really called my attention. We had even made some mixes and tried, but it had never convinced me until I tried yours. And that was really when I recognized that there was a difference, that you were bringing something really fresh, and you were really bringing a strong product that was bringing way more, much more than just a blend of coffee and mushroom. That was something that was really accurate, formulated, and that you were taking a lot of care of every single aspect of a product, which is what I love. I love when you can get something to be excellent, and you've done that with your product. So to me, getting a partnership with someone, it has to be at the same level of Hifas da Terra's quality, and I think you have really achieved that with honors.
Thank you so much. You've graduated from the School of Adaptogenic Coffee. You know what? I actually had a question for you, right? Was when we first were introduced to adaptogens and medicinal mushrooms 6-7 years ago, and we would talk about them to other people, they thought we were crazy, right? So I guess my question for you is, what must it have been like 25 years ago?
Well, that was crazy. I mean, imagine 25 years ago. I remember being in natural fairs and natural congresses where we belong, and people would say, mushrooms are just fiber and water. So what, are they good for anything else than to be, with side plate of a steak? That would be the first impression, and so from there I realized that we had to really back up everything with science. That's why we have this obsession with science and all of the backing up, the mushrooms, because we could see that there was really no clue in Europe about what mushrooms have, other than they're delicious or they kill you. There are two sides to it.
Or they make you
High.
Or they make you really high.
Yes, that was the other one. So everybody would be like, "Oh, you're doing bungies." No, we're not doing bungies. It's like it's a whole kingdom. So I realized that I had to start explaining what a mushroom is. So I always said, like, imagine you just found a rose, and you would say, "Whoa, it's a rose," but it's not only a rose; it's a whole kingdom. There's a plant kingdom. You're going to find roses, you're going to find weeds, you're going to find an apple tree, you're going to find, pineapples. I mean, tons and millions of species where each of them have their properties. And this is what the mycology studies. So this is the fungi kingdom, where we have opened, and many scientists for many years have been researching the properties and the compounds of mushrooms. And I always think that this is the world that comes where the pharma companies will find the new molecules for new drugs. It's all either in the deep sea or comes from the mushroom world. Why hasn't it been studied before? Because it's difficult. Mushroom kingdom, it's a very difficult world to study. So that's why it hasn't been unveiled till now, many of them. We do have a lot of big drugs that come from the mushroom world. We can say maybe 40% of the big drugs that we have today, say penicillin comes from penicillium, say Taxol, that's a big drug for cancer treatments. Many immunodepressants are coming from the world of mushrooms. So we do have a big knowledge, and but there's way more. There's a lot more. And this was a knowledge that was in Asia, that started in Asia thousands of years ago. And that in Europe we had kind of that knowledge, but for many reasons it was forgotten. And now we're trying to bring it back, and in a modern way that's backed up with science, biotech, and bioscience to really understand the mechanisms of action that in Asia were described so many times by traditional Chinese medicine, but that today we can back that up with science and understand the roots. How is this working? How it's working in the mechanism of the body, so the thing is that putting all of this together with the quality, knowing that once you study something, you want to give the best product to the client, to the patient, to the doctor or practitioner that is going to prescribe it and work with it. Well, we need to have always the best quality, because if we know that we can do something really good that can benefit very much people, then we cannot do it wrong. We cannot put it in a different quality or not being as pure as it should be.
Nice.
Exactly. I love that. And I was thinking about, there's something intrinsic in us humans that we know that there's benefits in the functional mushrooms, right? Like you say, in traditional Chinese medicine, they knew thousands of years ago, even though they didn't have the science, they knew. And now it's like, in the West, it's like people are waking up to it, right? And it's kind of how we came on our journey, right? Like Amanda, the nutritionist, she knew, and she was teaching us about it. And as soon as we took adaptogens with functional mushrooms and other things, something inside us just woke up and was just like, holy shit, why is not everyone taking these every day? Yeah. It's crazy, right? Yeah. And we're sitting here in Pontevedra talking about it, and it's in the last few years things have changed in the West from what we see, because we go to shows and events, and a few years ago people are like, what is that? Does it taste like a mushroom soup? And now it's oh, mushroom coffee, yes please. So it's changed a lot already.
So what do you think the main goals of this partnership should be?
So I think this is the most exciting thing that we've done since we've launched. So we spent all those years finding what we could find in terms of the best quality adaptogens and adaptogen extracts. And since then, we've always been looking, researching, testing new blends, new extracts, etc. And when we came across you guys with the R&D, it's just the quality of the mushroom extracts at the end of the day. And it's we're so excited to share that with our customers and with ourselves. And ever since you guys sent us the first extracts, we were whoa. And I remember one friend that we have in like a mycologist in the mushroom world, he was at my house and I had the extracts and he started like trying it, and he's just like, he started talking about beta glucans and what it was doing in terms of his palate and his mouth. And he was asking me straight away, like, how much beta glucans is in this product? And I didn't know what he was like getting at, but I was like, I don't know if we're allowed to say yet. Like, is this a secret? So I was like, I just know it's really, really high. And that's the moment where I'm like, oh, wow, this is really exciting. I hope we can make a delicious cup with the adaptogenic coffee that tastes just as good and just as impactful on the day with the Hifas mushrooms. So that's the main thing. And I think it kind of comes back to the vision and the mission that we first wrote down, which was like, we want to bring best-in-class adaptogenic extracts conveniently and deliciously into people's day and making them accessible to people.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh.
And I was going to ask, Shez,
Yeah.
when you were formulating, what could you tell of the difference of using previous other brands and then when you use
Extremely difficult. So that was one of the challenges, right? Is that we have a specific flavor profile that our customers expect. And when we started testing with your extracts, they're so high in active compounds, they're quite difficult to work with. So that took us quite a long time to get the formula exactly right. But we're there and it tastes delicious. But one thing I would add is, I think Zain touched on it, is the mission statement we wrote down about bringing the highest quality adaptogens and making them convenient for customers. Since we've been introduced to you guys, and maybe family and friends have been asking me, oh, which mushroom supplements should I take? I've always pointed them in your direction. So I guess like when we talk about goals, it was already clear to us that, do you know what, we have to be using these extracts in our blends.
So I think it's very important a little bit to explain, how this quality profile that we're always talking about, how a professional profile like yours, when you're formulating, you can really tell the difference between one quality and the other. Because if not, sometimes people are hearing that, yes, you look to have looked for, the nice quality, for a better quality, but how do I know that where you're having an extract or that it's a good quality?
When you've seen so many extracts, like we said, we looked at 20 different lion's mane extracts. Remember that first time I opened that bag from you guys, I could tell from the smell. I was like, okay, this is going to be difficult.
Because of the purity.
Because of the purity, because of the high quality and the amount of actives. As we say, we're there. And
Let me add a little bit to the... So me personally, when I started trying it, I was like, oh, this is really strong. So they were like, would the right word be like potent extracts or thing? So it's not just about looking at like a data sheet and saying like, okay, these are the actives, okay, let's put it in the formula. And it was like when we made the cup with our formulas, and it was like, oh, this is strong. I was like, Shez, I think we're gonna have to like adjust these formulas and do some work, because like straight away, like you could taste the lion's mane and the cordyceps in mojo. And so that was my personal thing. It was strong, but at the end of the day, for me, it's like we can look at the data sheet and we can make a formula of an adaptogenic coffee. But for us, it's like, is it a delicious experience drinking it? And then what is the impact on the day? And me personally, and then family and friends, I'm like, can you try this? Let me know what you think. It's all been super positive since Hifas. So like, and it's not always telling them like, oh, actually we've changed the mushroom extract. It's literally like, can you try this? It's a mojo. It's a new formula. Let me know what you think, without giving any bias. And even my mum was like, oh, I really like that one that you made me the other day. Can you make that one again? And I'm like, no, that was just a test, that's coming soon. So that was for me. And the same question for you is, like, what drew you to London Nootropics, and how does it fit into, Hifas de Terra's mission?
I always wanted, since I saw the first blends of coffee with reishi, with Ganoderma, I always liked the idea, but I couldn't find the right fit. I couldn't find, as I said, we were even doing ourselves blends with different coffees, and we were trying and giving it, but I could never find, the perfect product with the perfect fit for Hifas. But when I found out, and Henry presented London Nootropics to me and said, look, I think they would be our perfect partners for the coffee journey. And then we met, and then I tried the coffee, and I really found something different. It was really enlightening of saying there's something different here. It's not just about making another product with mushrooms, but it's about the perfection of the formula, I would say. And to me, always, as I said, excellence is a must. So if I can't make it happen, then it's not a product that's going to come out with the seal of Hifas. So when I saw that you could do that with our extracts, I said, okay, this is where we can work, and we can have, we can make it happen and really have a coffee with Hifas extracts that is perfect on the blend, on the functionality, on the design, on every aspect. So that was something that I really liked it and enjoyed it from the very beginning. And I have to say that this is our first partnership. We've never done this before.
Yeah. This is our first partnership too.
Yeah.
Or something like this, right? This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you have
I was going to ask, so what are the main goals for Hifas from this collaboration?
I think it's to bring... So I always thought, that mushrooms have so much to offer that we need to bring them in an everyday basis. So in order to bring them on an everyday basis, you can take your supplements every day. But there are so many other things and other ways where you can bring mushrooms to your life. And there are some things that we can do, Hifas can do on its own, but there are so many other things where there are many very good and big professionals that will be better when we join and we do this project together than if we try to do it on our own. So what are the goals here? To bring the best coffee possible to the world with the best extracts.
I love that. And it fits into what we talk about, which is getting them into your daily diet.
Exactly.
I love that.
So the idea is we all take several coffees a day. So why just have a regular coffee when you can have something that's bringing you more in?
And it's like, for us, it's pairing the adaptogens with the coffee of specifically what you need in your day, right? So some people are having a coffee in the morning because they want to have a bit of energy and they're physically tired and they want to wake up. And it's like, maybe cordyceps is actually going to help you along the way. So when we have a regular coffee, caffeine is absorbed quickly, and you can get a spike and then a crash, and then you want another coffee. And a lot of people, they'll roller coaster through their day going up and down, and they can have 3-4 coffees in a day. And when you have 3, 4, 5 coffees in a day, or you're sensitive to caffeine and you have 1 coffee, you can spike your cortisol, your stress hormone. And then it kind of defeats the purpose of having all this coffee, because you're on edge, you have some jitters and anxiety. Some people get palpitations. So the good synergies with adaptogens and coffee and caffeine is, the first one, adaptogens have been shown to avoid the spike and crash. So a lot of our customers say, like, before they were having 4 or 5 coffees in a day, and now they just need 1 or 2 adaptogenic coffees, and they're balanced during their day, and you're more closer to homeostasis. And the other good synergy is some adaptogens, especially ashwagandha in our Zen blend, is working on our adrenals to help us stay balanced. It's kind of like a thermometer. And if it sees our cortisol going up, it's like, okay, let me balance that out for you. So they're the good synergies. And bringing it back to the mushroom extracts and the functionality, it's like, some people are having coffee in the morning because they want to focus and they want to clear their brain fog and be mentally alert. And there's many properties in lion's mane, And if you're taking it daily, it's shown to help with your brain function and cognitive performance. So it's like the two go hand in hand depending on what you need in your day.
Exactly. Many people will ask, this is a question that obviously will come through, which is, and if I take the coffees, then I don't take my supplements. But the truth is that I take both. So why? Because if you want to see a result and you need those specific milligrams to have in your everyday to see the result, on a monthly basis, well, then you do use your supplement. But you can also back it up with the coffee and with the extract, where you will be either putting a little bit more on your daily dose, and it's a rounded coffee where you not only have the mushroom, but you have the synergy of the mushroom, of the coffee, and also of the herbal, botanical extracts. And I think the beauty of this project is that, as you say, it's a very beautiful synergy formulated that is not going to bring you high or down. It's going to modulate you as your needs, which is the beauty of adaptogens. You were talking before of how when you start having mushrooms you feel good, and how that is related to the time of, historically. And I always think that mushrooms have been there since the very beginning of the earth. So they were the first alive creatures on earth that came from the sea. And they were really, working, starting with the humanity, with humans, because when humans started to appear on earth, they needed to test everything. So they would test plants, they would test mushrooms. So they've been with us in our genome for millions of years. So even if now we have taken a break for the last centuries, they have been evolving with us since the first times of the manhood. Meaning that it's something that adapts to us, and it makes us adapt to the terrain, to the conditions.
So Catalina, we know, because we've been speaking to you guys for a while now, but for anyone listening, how do you ensure quality and responsible sourcing of the mushroom extracts?
So for us, being biologists, the founders, this is one of the most important ways of functioning. To me, there is either the organic way or no way at all. So we need to return to the planet more of what we're taking from it. It's the only way forward. And so for transmitting this to clients and to patients, because we work with many patients, to me is the organic certification. The European organic certification, it's very strong. So all of our products are organic certificated, and this means a lot. This means purity and something that's really clean. You don't get the certificate otherwise. So what we test is we make a triple analytic test to see that in different moments of the process, when we are producing the mushrooms, when we are extracting the mushrooms, and when we are putting them into capsules, what we see is that there's nothing that is touching the mushroom extract that could be polluted. And from the very beginning, why? Because mushrooms are like sponges. The structure of a mushroom, which is the very body of a mushroom, it's called mycelium. It's made by Hifas, which are like threads that grow in the substrate, grow in the grounds, and that are absorbing everything that it's in that where you're growing the mushrooms. So if you go back, and wherever you're using straw or you're using wood, and those crops where there was used any pesticides or anything that was used on that cultivation, mushrooms will eat that and will absorb that and keep it on their body. So it's extremely important when you're talking about medicinal mushrooms that you make sure that they are completely pure.
Same talks for heavy metals. They are going to be chelating the soils, cleaning the soils, and putting those heavy metals into their body. If you're using that as a cleansing for the soils and then get rid of the mushrooms, it's perfect. That's a technique that's been used for cleaning soils. But you can never use, obviously, a mushroom that has been cultivated in something that it's polluted, in sawdust or straw or other types of ingredients that were polluted. And this is only controlled by the organic seal. Nothing else really is putting a heavy control on this. That's why the organic food came up, because it's the only way of knowing that everything you're using is traceable, every single ingredient is traceable, and it's been controlled from the beginning, every ingredient, and then at the very end, the whole product. Yes, so this for us is extremely important when you are talking about mushrooms. And there are many products out there. There are many that are beautiful and they're very clean, and there are many that are not beautiful and clean. And so we need to be very careful about the sourcing, the processing, and then even the packaging. And how we are taking care of every of these steps is by analytics. It's the only way. It's where you're going to see the pureness of what you are putting out there for the customer. Yeah. So, and what about the coffee? How do you source the coffee and make sure that's the best coffee?
So again, we tested a lot of coffees, right? And our coffee, it's the same process. It's tested for heavy metals, toxins, mold, etc., to make sure it's clean and pure. And we love that coffee. It's like it just goes well, really, really well with the adaptogens. And it's like this coffee's taste profile just stood out as we can use an effective amount of adaptogen extracts with the coffee, and it's still a coffee at the end of the day. So it tastes delicious. But yeah, kind of going full circle on that, it's like, as a consumer, and we get asked these questions all the time by our customers, it's like there are many products on the market. It's like, how do you choose what's going to benefit you? And when you were talking about heavy metals, I was thinking about this chocolate that was in the news recently, and it was like a famous chocolate in the UK, and they were saying like actually it's being recalled because it was found to have very high levels of heavy metals inside it. And it's the same thing. It's like we can be like, people have been consuming it for years, right? And you don't know how it's going to affect your health in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And then you realize you have some mold inside you or toxins inside you. It's like you need to look after your health. And something, especially in an industry such as ours, is putting out that purity and cleanness, and trying to educate customers on what to look for. So we kind of see it as two sides, because we do get customers that ask about like, is it clean? Like, is it tested for heavy metals and toxins? And they understand this. And then we get customers who are savvy on the beneficial side, and they're like, what active compounds are in your extracts? Like, so we try and be as transparent as possible, which is the best way. And this is the advice that we give to customers, looking at supplements because they want to supplement on top, and they want to look at other products. We always like look for brands with that transparency, that show they're third-party tested and they're transparent about the active compounds in the extracts that they use, because this is what's going to give you benefits at the end of the day, and it's why most people are having mushrooms and other adaptogens in their day.
Yes. Okay, cool. And more than anything, when we are solubilizing a formula in hot water, this is specifically important, because anything that could be in the middle that is not good, you're really making it very bioavailable and absorbable. Yeah. So it's specifically important in a beverage, in a hot beverage, that it's very clean and there are no nasties in the middle.
That's why sourcing is so important. So we still source every ingredient ourselves, and it's like we've come here to meet you guys. We've seen where you guys are growing, and we have that confidence in our supply.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing in terms of sourcing and looking for the highest quality ingredients is whenever we've spoken to people that we've met about you guys, so where we go to a lot of shows with nutritionists and practitioners and alongside you guys as well, you guys always come out on top. Everyone knows who you guys are. So you've been around for 25 years.
Well, thank you for
Yeah, which is this year, I believe, right?
Yes, in May.
Which is amazing. The amount of research and development that's gone into it, it's honestly a privilege to partner with you guys and say that we have the best in class adaptogens in our blends. So appreciate it.
Thank you. No, it's. I think this is going to be a beautiful partnership. I really think we are more. We're bigger when we add our strengths than going solo. And that I think we can. There's so many things we're going to be able to offer. So many new research, new developments that we're going to be able to offer to the world, and then we will be constantly surprising.
Yeah, and actually, someone mentioned it to us recently on a different podcast, and it was kind of like a bit of an epiphany moment for us, where they said to us, "So you guys see yourselves as a service?" And I was like, yes, absolutely. And I think that aligns with you guys and what you're saying about giving back to people, also giving back to the planet, is that we see ourselves as a service for people. And I think that's the same for you guys too.
Completely. I always think that companies should always have the sense and the moral obligation that we're here to serve. We are here to offer a product that is going to change people's lives for good. That you're going to really bring something really important to people's lives and that you're going to change. So I think that is a way of changing, a way of thinking that's changing in the world, that companies are not here anymore to make money, but to be working for society, to bring things, to bring experiences, to bring products or that will improve lives. And to me, this is a mission for Hifas, and I think it's the same for you guys, for London Nootropics. And so when joining together, we will bring really incredible products to the world.
Yeah, that means a lot, Catalina. It's like together we're stronger. And yeah, I think we just want to say thank you for actually having this whole thing and spending the time with everything you've got going on in the supplement space, the oncology range, etc., which is incredible, to take the time out of that main focus to say, we appreciate what you guys are doing. We're going to make some cordyceps and lion's mane extract specifically for you guys. And I know it took 7 months to grow the whole batch, from everything from the start to growing to extraction to testing, etc. Just for us, for our coffees. And it's it's just incredible. So just to say thank you. And I think, together we're stronger. And a little bit earlier, we have some clips of it. We are making something fantastic together.
Yes. And full of fungi.
Yeah, good one. Cool.
And from Hifas Zatara's part, I think we love the idea, and we're also very thankful for having found you and having found this possibility of developing a perfect coffee to start the day. Because we always say you need to take your supplements with an empty stomach and start the day, with your mushrooms and with the supplements. But then, whatever you put into your body, make it, that it really is going to help and that it's going to be functional. I think there is a change in the world where we are stopping. We're not, thank goodness, in this part of the world, at least we're not being hungry anymore. So we need to change of just feeding ourselves from choosing that whatever we're putting in the body, it's functional and we're putting it for a reason. And this is very important nutritionally, because we are seeing enormous amounts of overweight, of big health problems. So changing the mentality
on every single decision we're going to make throughout the day, and having the right choices, just not to overeat, but eat the right things that are going to be functional and are going to bring us nutrition-wise, going to bring us good components and no nasties, as we were saying. It's extremely important. So to me, to have that as the first choice in the morning, it's a way of putting yourself in a positioning for the rest of the day. Of what am I going to put into my body? What am I going to eat? What am I going to drink? So there has to be a reasoning behind, and there has to be a functionality behind.
I love that. I love that. You know, it's like 50 years ago, we didn't have like easy access to this knowledge, right? So like our parents' generations and our parents' generations, like they were introduced to fast foods and processed foods, and like people just started consuming this the opposite of mindfully, just consuming in their day, fast-paced life. And you're having all this processed stuff, and then, you know, the rates of cancers go up and all these other diseases. And it's like, you look at 2 and 2. And then now we go to a lot of this like health and biohacking shows, and we work with a few clinics, and we see what they recommend. And they're like, look, you should start your day on an empty stomach. You should do intermittent fast. You should do this and that. And like me personally, like I kind of sit in the middle of both. Like, it's all about balance. And for me personally, I could never wake up at 6 a.m. and fast till 12 and do this. And I know there's health benefits there, but it's difficult. Like, I want to enjoy life. I want to have my breakfast. I want to have coffee, etc. in the morning. And it's like, for a lot of people, it's just like giving them a little thing, like, you know, you can have an adaptogenic coffee in your day. You should have some mushroom supplements. And I think people are waking up to having like not processed foods, like whole foods and natural, etc., etc. And it's getting there slowly, and it's good that we can do our bit in that journey, right? Yeah. And it's like, because this whole thing that, and we have an internal debate about oat milk. So oat milk became huge, I think, in the world, not just the UK. And when we first started, it was like, okay, so, and I think I remember thinking this and not knowing. I was like, okay, cool, like oat milk would be good to have with a coffee, like, because it tastes good. And then we quickly learn that actually it's going to spike your glucose in the morning. There's still a lot of people that enjoy oat milk, but there's some tricks you can do. Like if you're having an oat milk coffee first thing in the morning, if you have a few nuts before it, like just raw nuts, it's like it's not going to spike your glucose as much. So there's little tricks we can do, but we still have to enjoy life as well.
Yeah. Or if you have your supplements in the morning, if you have the medicinal mushrooms, it will also control the spike.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, I should have known. Yeah, good point.
That's why they must be an empty stomach, because then it comes the oat milk. But yeah, I completely agree. I think life is a path where we need to learn. It's like, and you know, we all learned to eat by what you like, what it's, you know, what the fats and proteins and you know, carbs are all necessary in a very varied diet that is going to help you to grow and to grow your muscles and to be strong and the right proportions. And little by little we go learning more and being more precise. So I think that for, you know, the majority of people, we need to start this path of learning by giving them also nice approaches that are easier and that are nice and that they're complete. But there's where we stand, the professionals stand, to provide them with things that are very well balanced and very well formulated, but they're nice. They have a nice flavor and they're easy to put in their daily basis. And then they go learning more and more, and they get their supplements, and then they go understanding how to balance the diet, what type of fats, what type of carbs, but that is all a learning curve that we need to go through. And at the end, there's a lot of people like the biohacking movement, which is really interesting, where you really get to control all of your body. But you need to get there when you get there. Before that, you have all of this path of learning, knowledge, and just leaving some things behind, because each time you know more, you know better, and you feel and you listen to your body. So we will get there, but as we go walking, I think it's very important to share with society, with the world, to share products that are going to be very nice, free of all nasties, very pure, and that will help them in this way of learning path.
Yeah, I love that. It's like, have you ever had something in your life that you're taking and then a few years realize that it's not very healthy?
Oat milk.
Oat milk, yeah.
And there are so many other things that, I mean,
What thing?
starting, I mean, you can put almost anything of what we were eating when we were little, and anything, pretzels, I mean,
having pretzels.
cereals, whatever, I mean,
we
just
know,
name
I mean,
it.
I think, like, we always tell our customers to listen to your mind and pick up on those internal cues. And I think you always know, for example, when you have oat milk, I started having it when it became popular, and I quickly, within a few months, I was like, actually, something doesn't feel right. So I just stopped having it. So we're super excited about this collaboration. For us at London Nootropics, it's a dream come true to be able to incorporate these high quality extracts in our blends. We're excited to share more with you, specifically about the benefits of your extracts. And we're super excited to continue our growth and learning along this journey.
It's all good.
Well, we're super excited to really start with this project and to be able to present the world with this new coffee blends with our strong extracts, which millions of people will benefit from it. So let's start.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, nice.
We did the clap.